Hi, in this video lecture, we're going to solve a data structure related problem, which is also there in the Hackerrank, and that is compared to linked list. Let's quickly read the question. You're given the pointer to head nodes of two linked lists. Compare the data in the nodes of linked list to check if they're equal. If all data attributes are equal and the lists are the same length, return 1, otherwise return 0. So in this program, you have two linked lists and we have a pointer pointing to the first node of the first list, another pointer pointing to the first node of the second list. Your job is to compare if these two lists are same. We say the lists are same if they have equal number of nodes plus the data part in each of the nodes are also same. Like you compare the first node's data in the first list and the first node's data in second list. If they are not same, we say the list is not same. But in case if they are same, then we don't say the lists are same. We jump to the second nodes. Then we compare the second node to the second node. If the second node and second node is also same, we jump to the third node and then we compare third node to third node. This particular process of comparison of the data part of two nodes, we can repeat as long as you don't encounter nodes whose data is not matching or till you have data part in both the list. If you encounter a situation wherein you reach in null in one of the list, you cannot proceed any further because if you reach the null, you cannot access the data part. So in this particular example, you can observe. So I have reached the null after 3 nodes in the first list, but in the second list, I have not yet reached null. It is still pointing to the fourth node. So in such situation, we say the list is not same. Now, in this task, your job is to write the function. The function name is compare list. You will be given pointer to two uh, pointer to the first node of the first list and pointer to the first node of the second list. You just need to compare and then you need to return a Boolean value, true or false. So let's see how do we basically do this. So to do this, first, as I said, like we need to perform this comparison repetitive. Then till when should I repeat? I need to repeat as long as this head once of data part. Sorry, first we need to check the if they are null or not null. So we need to check if head 1 is not equal to null, meaning the head 1 pointer is still pointing to a node, and head 2 pointer is also not equal to null. Both the pointers, okay, should not be pointing to null. Okay. So we have to repeat this. Since we need to repeat this, we'll be basically using a loop. I can just think of using a while loop here. What should we do if both are not null? We need to access the data part. So how do we access the data part? I just write head 1 of data, okay, and head 2 of data. So what do we need to do in this? We need to check if they are equal or not equal. If they are not equal, then I can say that, oh, these two lists are not same. So I can just return telling that, oh, I've basically reached to a point wherein the data parts are not matching. So we can say the lists are not same. I can just try to return false, right? But otherwise, if the data portions are same, what should I do? I need to update both the pointers. I need to update the head 1 pointer, point to the next node of the first list itself. And the same way, head 2 pointer should be pointing to the next node of the second list. Okay. So this particular loop will repeat as long as you have data to compare in both the nodes. And if the data portions do not match, we return false. But otherwise, you proceed further. You will come out of the loop if you have reached null in either of the list or if both the list. If you have reached null in only one of the list, not in both, it means that one of the nodes, one of the list had more number of nodes. In that case, we can say that lists are not matching. But if you have reached null in both the cases simultaneously, then we can say list are okay, are same. So I would like to check if head 1 equal to null and head 2 equal to null, In that case, yes, okay, the lists are equal, right? Otherwise, the lists are not equal. So I'll just try to write this expression. This expression returns true when both these conditions are satisfied and returns false if the conditions are not satisfied. Okay, so I'll just try to run this particular code out here and try to verify if this is satisfying. Yes, it has passed the sample test cases. I'd like to also submit this and observe that yes, all the test cases are matched or are passed. But to understand in more detail about how things are happening, I'll try to take this particular code and I'll try to put it into one more platform called as Python Tutor, wherein I already have the code written for insert node at the tail, and I'll be placing this code what I just wrote here. And after that, I'd like to try out with various lists wherein the lists are same and the lists are not the same. So first, let me try to take up when the lists are not same. First list will have two elements, 1 and 2. Second list will have three elements, 1, 2, and 3. Let's try to learn how does it perform this operation. Insert node at tail is something which I already solved in the previous problems. You can just go and have a look at it for detailed explanations, but I'm more concerned about comparing the list. So I've set a breakpoint here. I'll click on the next, and you can just observe the visualization of the two lists is already created out here. The first list has two nodes, 1 and 2, and the second list has three nodes, 1, 2, and 3, right? Now this head 1 and head 2 are basically pointers in the main function. Now I'll be passing this to the function compare list. So when I pass this, what happens is at the receiving end, you have two pointers which will collect the same information. You can just observe I have head 1 and head 2. But also please do remember these two are two different variables when compared to the variables in the main. So now as if I modify this pointer like this head 1 to make it point to the second node or this one make it point to the next node, it will not have any impact with the head pointers in the main function. That's something which you need to understand, that is the reason why I've not used any temporary pointers. I'm just trying to update the head 1 and head 2 itself, right? So now what does the logic say? It says that first check out if the pointers are pointing to the nodes. Yes, they are pointing to the nodes. Okay, so what should we do now? I need to enter the loop. Okay, because both the pointers are pointed to the node. Once I enter the body part of the loop, I'll compare the data part of this. Data part of this is 1 here, and the data part out here is again 1 here, right? So since it is 1 and 1, it is equal. So it will not execute line number 33. It will come to line number 34. So in line number 34, what happens out here is this pointer will point to the second node. This pointer will point to the second node here. And the same way, this pointer will point to this one. Okay, second node of the second list. So you can just observe it is pointing to second node of the second list, right? Now, again, what you do it is you check out, are the pointers pointing to the nodes? Yes, the pointers are pointing to the nodes. So I'll enter the loop. Once I enter the loop here, again, I'll check out is the data parts not matching or is it matching? It is matching. So I'll jump to line number 34. Okay. So here, head 1 will point to the next node. What is after this particular node? It is null. So after this, head 1 points to null. You can just observe this. Okay, whereas head 2 will point to the third node because I do have a third node in the second list. See here? Now again, I'll just come back to the loop and just compare. Are both the pointers pointing to nodes? The answer is no, because one of them has reached to null, one of them is pointing to a node. So in this particular case, I'll come out of the while loop. When I come out of the while loop, I'll check for the condition. Head 1 is null, yes. Head 2 is null, no. Okay, so the first condition is true and second condition is false. True and false will give me false. So since it basically returns me false, I'll try to receive this value and try to print false onto the screen, which is 0. Okay. Now let me also try to take up some other data values here. Let me have same number of nodes, but let me try to modify that. The first element itself is not matching. So let's try to understand in this particular case how many times the loop will repeat. So initialization and insert node at the end. I don't want it to do step by step for that. So here, yes, you can just observe we do have two pointers. Now Both the pointers are pointing to the nodes. Yes, I'll come in here. Line number 32, I will be comparing this 45 with 1. Are they same? No, they are not same. So I will be executing line number 33 and I'll be returning false. In the first iteration itself, we can just observe I did return false and then I'll be printing 0 on the screen. Okay. Yeah. When does it return true? When both the lists have same data and same number of nodes. Like for example, you have 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, right? In this particular case, again, I'll start the execution. And I'll want to jump to this point. So here, if you can just observe carefully, our first iteration, it did compare. Second iteration, you can just see 2 and 2 is compared, right? I'll reduce the font size. Okay. And then 3 and 3 is also compared. After that, now you can just observe both the pointers are null. Both the pointers are null. So now when you come out of the while loop, okay, now you check, are both the pointers null? Yes, both the pointers are null. So if both the pointers are null, it basically returns a true value, right? And prints 1 onto the screen. So I hope the concept is clear. I'll be sharing this particular code in the description section of the video. So please do refer to this. And if you have any doubts or any other interview questions, please do share it in the comment section. Thank you.